Let's learn about some maps. Oh my god, it happened again.
Can we do
There
an
we go.
episode about politics? All right, what if it's about politics in a foreign country?
Oh, that sounds fun.
Great, welcome to Map Men. We're the
Right
men.
off the
Here's the
bat, I love these guys so much. By the way, as funny as this is actually like very, very informative.
This is a map of the 435 districts that the USA is split into for the purposes of voting for members of Congress, the powerful people who pick the policies the president can pass.
Because elections have to be fair, it's important that the map is fair. That's why every 10 years the boundaries get redrawn to make sure every district always contains, as closely as possible, the same number of people, about 700,000.
Which means that this map is actually a very handy way of glancing at population density across the United States.
For example, sparsely populated Wyoming has just one district and just one representative.
Hello.
And densely populated New York has 26.
Hello. That makes sense, but if you zoom in, some of it doesn't make sense. Lots of districts have very suspicious-looking shapes. Buh?
Buh?
Guh? Fnuh?
That last one, I happen to recognize that.
Districts really have to be so
That's
just to
from
get the
Illinois, baby.
populations equal.
Nope, there's something more sinister going on. And to find out what it is, we have to go back to 1812.
I love his stupid time machine.
Where are we?
We're still in England, but it's 1812.
Shouldn't we be in Boston?
The story starts in Boston, in the office of the governor of Massachusetts, Elbridge Gerry.
With a G.
With a G,
With a gun.
there was an election coming up, and it looked like Gerry was about to lose his job.
Gary's about to lose
So
his
his
job.
advisors came up with a bill that could practically guarantee a victory for their party without having to win any extra votes. All they had to do was change the map.
But how does changing the map change the results?
That's what Elbridge Gerry said.
How does changing the map change the results?
Allow us to demonstrate with the use of state-of-the-art graphics.
That's what Gary
Let's
said.
say there's a hypothetical
All right, so for real, this is one of the best graphs that I've seen to explain gerrymandering.
rectangular state with two parties,
Gerrymandering.
the Chocolate Raisin Party and the Smarty Party.
Smarty
The Smarty
Party.
Party
I'm part
is
of the Smarty Party.
More popular, obviously.
Yeah.
A fair result that
Party
you'd
all
expect
day.
is 3 Smarty districts and 2 Chocolate Raisin districts.
But watch what happens if someone from the Smarty
Hey Ryan, welcome and goodbye. Thank you for popping in. I appreciate you.
Party is in charge of drawing the map. They can make it so that Smarties control every district. Smarty indeed.
But, more sneakily, watch what happens if someone from the Chocolate Raisin Party is in charge of drawing the map. They can mathematically make 3 Chocolate Raisin districts and just
Mathematically, I like that word.
2 Smarty, even though there are more Smarties.
Disgusting, shrivelly things.
But Massachusetts wasn't a perfect rectangle with voters arranged into unrealistically neat rows.
Wyoming is.
In order to achieve their desired results on a real map of thousands of human voters, Gerry's team would have to draw their boundaries using 2 techniques: packing and cracking.
Cracking is when you break up a community of opposition voters and dissolve them into surrounding districts, making their votes powerless.
A bit like giving all your dinner guests a tiny bit of vodka in every part of the meal spread across the evening, so everyone gets very, very slightly, barely detectably drunk.
And packing is when you do the opposite and pack as many opposition supporters as possible into just one district, making their votes wasted.
A bit like giving all of your vodka to just one of your dinner guests, keeping everyone else completely sober except Uncle Steve.
Once the concept was finally explained to Elbridge Gerry, he said he didn't like it and thought it was...
Highly disagreeable.
But he signed the bill anyway like a coward, and history was made.
Gerry's team looked at a map of where their supporters lived, and after a heavy night of packing and cracking, this is what they came up with, including this improbably bendy, sort of lizard-shaped district.
The new map caused quite a stir and caught the attention of political cartoonist Elkanah Tisdale and his editor Nathan Hale of the Boston Gazette. Hey, have you seen Governor Gerry's new district map?
Yeah, looks like a salamander.
Ha, you mean a Gerrymander? And
It's hilarious. It's all based on a really bad joke.
that's how the process of manipulating maps for political gain became known
The saddest part is that's close to historical accuracy, where it's just 2 guys yucking up. Yeah, salamander.
as gerrymandering. And then everyone started pronouncing it wrong.
Which is how it became known as gerrymandering, which was good news for Gerry, who'd probably be delighted that his name hasn't technically gone down in history for this bad thing.
Which brings us back to the present day.
Anyway, in a proper democracy, such obvious cheating would have been instantly spotted and nipped in the bud. But due to America's quirky,
Stunningly undemocratic.
system where it's politicians themselves who draw their own district maps,
Yeah.
gerrymandering
Gerrymandering.
very much continues to this day.
And it's more sophisticated, high-tech, and openly brazen than ever before or anywhere else in the world. It can be seen in swing states all
God, are they using AI to do it?
across America.
A shower head, a car with wings, one of those old-fashioned hand drill things,
A dinosaur, a watering can, the shape on the flag of the Isle of Man.
a metal detector, a bale of hay, a knight sitting on his horse the wrong way,
A rabbit in a hat and a bobbit and a spoon.
Super Soaker Seahorse Cameroon, a plume of steam from a mug of tea,
Donald Duck being kicked by Goofy.
a carpet stain from a naughty pup,
A mouse leaning over with a big thumbs up.
This would be a fun game to play.
snake, dog, bat, dog, snake, duck, snake. We'll be right back after the break.
All right, so just so you guys know, their ads are very, very funny, but to expedite this, because I do actually want to learn about the gerrymandering as much as I love the comedy of these guys. Let's get back to it.
Fun. But gerrymandering,
Gerrymandering.
everyone says gerrymandering.
Everyone's wrong.
Everyone's
Gerrymandering
wrong!
has serious consequences.
North Carolina.
All right, guys, be honest. How many of you now want to call it gerrymandering with the hard G?
In the 2018 midterm elections, Republicans won 10
Ever since I saw this video, I have been doing that, and people look at me like I'm an idiot.
out of 13 seats with just 51% of the votes.
Nothing new.
Ohio. Republicans won
Ohio.
12 out of 16 seats with just 52% of the votes.
And the Democrat Party does it too.
Mar-I-Laund. Democrats won 7 out of 8 seats with just 63% of the votes.
So then, why don't they just make squiggly districts illegal?
Oh, if only it were that simple. Sometimes a district that looks sillily squiggly has been made squiggly for a good reason.
Republican voters and Democrat voters
Yeah.
tend to clump together with their own kind, with Republicans mostly in the countryside and Democrats mostly in big cities.
This
I mean,
is called self-sorting,
Yeah.
and it's only getting more extreme.
I've literally seen this, like in the way that our districts, again, the more blue you are, the more likely you are to move to the city because, yeah, you don't care about the taxes. It's just, okay, I like being around the culture and everything.
The problem with
And you got the other guys out there that are just like, why am I paying Illinois taxes when I have a farm?
self-sorting is if your district has no opposition in it, your politician won't have to work hard and you won't have to bother to vote.
And so, to encourage healthy, competitive elections, legislators make districts squiggly on purpose, encouraging politicians to broaden their appeal and prevent politics from being polarized.
Competitiveness is not the
That worked.
only good reason for bonkers-looking map squiggles. Take a look at Illinois. In central
Hey, here we go. Let's
Chicago,
go.
you'll find the famous Earmuffs district, Illinois' 4th, which wraps around the 7th, barely holding itself together with the I-294 highway. Both
294.
the 4th and 7th districts are solid Democrat. So why in the name of all that jazz were they split this way?
Members of Congress don't just make up numbers for their party. Each one is supposed to represent their community.
A so-called community of interest can mean people from a certain industry or housing type or education or race.
For decades in America, minorities
These guys are the fucking best.
were terribly underrepresented in Congress.
Unappointably serious stuff.
After much campaigning, in 1965, the Voting Rights Act was passed, which made it illegal for any state to do anything that made it
Oh,
difficult
man.
for minorities to get elected.
Which included drawing voting districts that broke up minority communities.
What this practically means is every state is now required to pack voters of the same race into fewer districts.
No one wants it to be necessary, but it's the only way to make Congress reflect America's true diversity instead of its true racism.
Which explains this. This is a mostly African American community, and these are 2 mostly Latino communities.
So immediately we can see the problem.
You can make districts compact,
Yeah.
or you can make them competitive, or you can make them keep a community. But you can't make them all 3.
That's what makes fixing gerrymandering so hard. No one can agree on which is the most important C.
Which is why all attempts over the last few decades at fixing gerrymandering have produced various amounts of not much success, including, most notably, in
Terminates the gerrymander.
California, with the strong support of Governor
The fact that he called it terminate gerrymandering.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It's time to say hasta la vista to gerrymandering. But in almost every case, any
It's almost funnier when you can't do an Arnold impression.
attempt to fix it has only
You got to get rid of the gerrymander.
made things worse.
What'd you call it? The gerrymander. It's called the gerrymander. Gerrymander.
Serving only to highlight how impossible it is to make everybody happy.
Since we're not in America, it's easy for us as outsiders, living in a country whose democracy is practically perfect in every way, to tell Americans how they should run theirs.
I bet they feel that way right now too.
So,
Oh my
just
God,
in time.
somebody from the UK was trying to hit me up yesterday. They're like, "Can I talk about UK politics and what just happened with the internet ban bill? This is driving me
For the
crazy."
next round of redistricting in 2031, here are Mapman's top tips for how the USA can fix gerrymandering.
1. Instead of giving districts boring numbers, make legislators give them actual names. The longer the name, the harder the shape will be to justify.
2. Get computers to draw your districts for you. AI
Well, I
is
mean,
a powerful tool these days, and the robots know what's best for us.
yes, they do. Yeah, totally.
3.
Ugh.
3. Abolish geographical districts and divide the country by communities of internet. The people who share your priorities that need representing in government are all across the country and not just physically close to you.
4. Increase the number of members
I
of
don't like that idea.
Congress from 435 to 435,000, so each district contains just one street. You can't say it wouldn't work.
And 5. Stop worrying about democracy and just let a dictator take over.
Before we start blaming America's politicians for cheating at democracy, it's important to remember gerrymandering is only possible because voters are predictable. You can't draw lines around how people are going to vote if you don't know how they're going to vote.
Today, more than ever before, people support political parties like football teams and are less likely to ever allow their minds to be changed.
I blame Twitter.
And the more this happens, the harder it is to draw anything apart from depressingly predictable districts.
In the
I
last
blame
election,
Twitter.
81% of Americans lived in districts where it was extremely obvious who was going to win, leaving it to just a tiny handful of swing voters to decide
That's how I literally picture swing voters going to the polls, just like, oh, this I don't like all this pressure. Oh no.
the result for the whole country.
It's impossible to draw a map that will make everybody happy, but fighting for fairness
All right, if anybody in chat, are you guys swing voters, and do you legit kind of feel that way? Because like living in a blue bastion state, I have always kind of toyed with this because I have a buddy that just his reason for not wanting to vote is just like it's always gonna go blue anyway, which stupid, I know. But do you guys kind of feel more pressure though?
is worth the faff. If voters can at least feel their voices being heard, they'll be encouraged to turn up and vote to vote for their real favourite, making democracy more meaningful.
Until then, the American political system will remain an antiquated basket case that enables those with power to rig the system for themselves and block any meaningful progress for the foreseeable future.
You mean I'm just doing what any good Democrat would do. I'm just doing it first.
Glad we don't live in a country like that.
As I said, here, can we put the Mapmen link in the description, or at least in the chat, so everybody can go follow these guys? But if we can't, go follow Mapmen on YouTube. They are one of my favorite channels, if not my favorite educational channel. That was funny. Oh, dude. I'm not even kidding. If you guys don't even want to watch their videos, go watch their surf. I don't want to give the promo for a certain type of surfing, and then a fish that bites. They do really, really funny bits with that.
Watch this